Hi everyone, so today I am making my chocolate pots, little desserts, and they're sugar-free, but they do have dates. That's where the natural sugar comes from. So they're sweet, they're a dessert, and they're actually good for you too. They're full of good fat, and they're also full of gelatin. So I buy this. It's a Great Lakes unflavored gelatin. It comes from grass-fed cows. And it's good for anybody who wants to improve their hair, skin, nails, or for me, I like to take gelatin for my gut lining. So if that's something that you also struggle with and you're looking for recipes or ways to get gelatin into your diet, these desserts are amazing. It's not my original recipe, but I am going to add some things to it, such as almond butter, and I'm going to make a little raspberry jelly to go in it as well. You can eat these without the raspberry jelly or with, it doesn't matter. They're amazing either way. So they're super easy. Let's get started. Okay, so now I'm going to make the raspberry jelly. So I've put about 2 cups of raspberries into a pot and put it on the stove. I'm going to set the heat to medium-low, and then I'm just going to take some lemon and do a squeeze of lemon into it. I like the tartness of raspberries. If you really like sweet desserts, then you can add a little bit of honey. Because of my blood sugar, I don't like to add any extra sweetness. This is plenty of sugar on its own, but you could add a couple of tablespoons of honey if you'd prefer sweet versus tart. So I'm going to put the lid on it and just let it be. Just leave it alone while I finish cooking the rest of this dish. Okay, so the next incredibly easy step here is going to be the coconut milk, coconut cream, which I've shown you before. This is the brand I use sometimes, but I like to use the one from Whole Foods. It's organic and it comes in a carton instead of a can, so we can avoid the BPA, but I'm just going to finish using this up because I have it in my pantry. So I'm going to add the coconut cream to the pan. I'm going to use the whole jar, which is, if you're using the other ones, 13.5 ounces. You don't have to be exact on this recipe at all. You can add more or less to your liking. So dates, also pitted dates. You can use medjool dates or these dates. I get these from Costco because they're really inexpensive. And I'm just going to give it a handful. So probably, I would say 8 to 10 dates. The more dates that you put in there, the sweeter your dessert will be. And so it kind of depends on how much sweetness you like in your dessert. So now I'm just going to turn the burner on, medium-high heat, and just let this cook. This will cook just enough to let those dates soften up, and then we're going to put them all into a blender. So probably about 5 minutes. Okay, so you can see my raspberries are bubbling away back there, and I went ahead and took the lid off so that the water can escape and that it can reduce a little bit. And the dates and the coconut cream are just simmering away on the front burner, and they're about ready. You can touch your dates and make sure that they're nice and soft, and they are. So they are going into the blender next. So into the blender, along with the date mixture, I'm going to put about a 1/3 cup of cocoa powder. I like super strong chocolate flavors. The original recipe for this calls for 2 tablespoons, I think. That's just not enough for me. I like a really chocolatey dessert. And then the secret ingredient is some of the gelatin. So I'm going to measure in the gelatin because it's tricky. If you get too much, it'll be like a rock. So I recommend about 1 tablespoon to 1.5 tablespoons. I just did about 1.25 tablespoons. And you want to get this turned on right away, because that gelatin, once it hits this liquid, is going to start to congeal. So I'm just going to take and pour 1 layer into the bottom of the ramekins. And you could just stop here. You could make a whole dessert of just this chocolate. It tastes like a brownie batter. It's delicious. It would be wonderful. That's how I always used to make it. That's the original recipe as well. But I like to just change it up a little bit. And so that's what I'm doing with these. Now, okay, so I'm a sucker for almond butter. So I've decided to add almond butter to the middle of these. So it becomes kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Almond butter, as you may know, is full of good fats. It's alkaline, and mine says Heather's on it because I take it to work. But I get this at Costco, 2 for 1, so I eat a lot of it. So I'm going to show you real quick, if I can here. Let me switch this around. All I'm going to do is take a scoop of almond butter and layer it into these little cups. Make sure it gets all the way around. Then it becomes, when you eat this, like a Reese's peanut butter cup made with almond butter. So I'm going to put a scoop of almond butter into each one of these little dishes, and then I'm going to cover it with another layer of the chocolate mousse. So simple. Chocolate mousse goes in, one more layer. Then they're going to go in the fridge to set up, and we'll make our raspberry jelly to put on top. Okay, so the raspberry sauce is finished cooking. It's just, let's see if I can tilt this so you can see it. Well, kind of. It's just a raspberry jelly right now. I'm going to put it into the blender and give it 1 teaspoon of gelatin and then hit mix. And that's all there is to that. That will top our chocolate dessert. They're in the fridge now, setting. And then that's going to be it.